Let's make matchbooks out of book page. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. And today I thought I'd dip in and have a play with Clee Black Creations digital kits for my design team project. I had a thought that I was going to be doing something with butterflies, but then I realised that I'd got this, which I actually bought from her shop myself a while ago, and I've been desperate to use it because it's so beautiful with all the botanicals. The reason that this didn't come in the Marion North Journal is just because they're Polaroids, which suggests that's from a much more modern time. However, they are excellent. I love them. Look how wonderful they come. Look how fun. So I've printed these on 120 GSM paper, just a little bit thicker. So they're not going to add bulk, but they're a bit more sturdy. I've cut them out, and those ones I've inked. This one I haven't, so you can see that you don't even need to ink them because there's an aged effect to the digital kit here. So just to show you what this is Flower Polaroids, and it's from Clee Black Creations on her Etsy shop, and the link to this is below. It's really affordable, and it is 2 sheets of these Polaroids, so you get 6 in total. I'm missing one. I can't show you that one. You'll have to go and have a look at it, but it's a lovely yellow lily or something. It's ever so pretty, and that just, you know, so we get them like that. We've got that one, and then there's a missing one, but it's actually up there. It's there. So it's floating around, or I've either given it away to somebody already and I can't remember what I've done with it, but if it turns up I'll show you. So have a look at the link and you'll see the missing flower. I've got this book page paper here, which is really quite thick. It's a good sturdy thickness, and I wanted to use it for something because there's not much interest on there beyond the information, which is about birds. So it's nice information talking about bird habitats and things like that for a tree sparrow or a house sparrow. So that's the sort of thing that I've got from an old bird book. And I was just playing here thinking, what can I do with it? And I've ended up making this, which is really sweet. So I'm using the Polaroid pictures as a matchbook cover, and then using the book page as my little matchbook enclosure. And in here I've put some stamps just because I wanted to gift this away. I think it's a nice little treat for somebody to find. And inside here a load of little stamps. So that was just another way to deliver a little bit of ephemera to somebody, or to have it for yourself. If you're wanting to keep tickets and things secret or safe, you can put that in a journal. You can glue that down, and then that's just a little flip up. You can put more information there. You could stamp on that. It's just fun. And there's a little copper staple down the bottom there, which is sweet. And I've got this looking like this. So what I've done here is we pull it out. A small amount of origami allows you to get at your stamps, and also delivers you a nice sheet of vintage writing paper or tea stained paper, and then that can be stuck down in the journal, and there's a nice sheet of writing space there. So that's what I'm up to. I'll just show you how I've made that in a quick tutorial. You know, the stamps are optional, but it's really thin. It is a matchbook with a little matchbook fold at the top, but it can be like that in the journal, and it just all clicks in there, and that's how it would appear. And that is all for those. So you could make 12 of those matchbooks, all different, and some book page, easy peasy. So to tackle this, I've just used my guillotine, and I've got a standard size page here, which is 7 inches by 4 inches, and it uses the whole length of the paper. So all you do is just chop a bit off either side. I let the Polaroid image dictate how wide it was, and I just wanted a little bit around the edge to give me a border, a little peep through of the text behind. Okay, so I've taken my book page, which is 7 inches by 4.5, and I've cut away the 2 sides, which work out about 2 centimetres each, and what you're left with a 7 centimetre across, that's about 3 3/4 inches, and then we just remove those. I want to check that I've got a border that can go around. Just a little tiny hint of that text behind. That's what I want. Okay, so once you're happy that your picture is going to nestle in there and have a little border, we have a look at the page, make sure it's the right way up and flip it down. So now we've got the wording upside down, and you're going to cover that up anyway, so that's fine. So when you open it, you're reading it the right way round. What we do is pull up the bottom a little over 1/2 inch, so it's about 1.5 centimeters. Make sure it's straight, and that's the bottom bit of it. So there we go, you can see how it's going to work. And then we want to come up about 1/4 inch so that you've got that space there, and just press in a fold. Let's use the folder, bone folder. And then just press in a fold, so you've left yourself some space so it can tuck in. And then what you do is you pull it over a bit more, and once you've got your top crease in, you just want to put in another one next to it. You can do this on a scoreboard as well if you find that that's easier. You wouldn't want much, just a little bit to make it look like a matchbook. There we go. And then you've got 2 folds in there, so you're making that little, and then you're ending up with a little triangle bit in the top there like a matchbook, and that gives you space. Just check when you're putting in your creases that your paper is straight. And then I have sewn round this one, but you don't have to, that's an extra step. What you can do from here is ink round the edge. I've already done this one. And then you would just glue that down, and you wouldn't need to sew it unless you like the idea. I'm going to sew it, but I'm going to glue it first so that it's not going anywhere. So I'm just putting a little blob of glue to the centre of it. There we go. That one hasn't got any writing right at the top, but you can see it on the way round, and then it's on the back as well. And then if you've got a little bit of overhang, then that just gets cut away. And that's how to get the orientation right. So it's sort of semi-stuck on there now. So we can't see the upside down writing. It's been covered, that's great. But when we open it up, you can see the writing. And if you've got a really nice piece of information, or if you've got a really nice book page or 2 that you stick together to give you some strength, and perhaps you've got a picture or you've got something, these could look really amazing. So that's how that goes, and then that will be down there with a staple, but you can put a little stitch in there as well, so you could run it through the sewing machine and just put a couple of stitches down the bottom whilst you're doing that. And then over on the back it's all the right way round as well, so it can be read. Or you could put another picture on there, but the idea really is that it could be stuck down in the journal and then open out. And then from there, what you put in it is entirely up to you. So at this point, that's when I would do my stitching. Okay, so back from the sewing machine, I've used zigzag stitch and straight stitch, and then I've trapped a nice little piece, a little scrap of this satin fabric that I have in this pretty shell pink colour to pick out the flowers, and I did that here as well. Just a little scrap, it's just a bit of detail, little interest. And from here we just have a bit of an ink around, I think, because we can just emphasise the crease lines up there and all around the edges. And then along the bottom and up the sides of the flap, just go along there as well. I'm using on this one is Vintage Photo. I'm just going round a little bit on the inside as well. This is a vintage book, so there is a slight colour tone to it anyway, but emphasising it is quite fun to do. And then along the bottom, because you will see that bit. Okay, there we are, just age that. Okay, so to just demonstrate how I put the folded paper in, I'm laying it on top of the matchbook, which is open. We've got the edge there, and I match the paper up to that edge. so that when I fold that in, it's sitting in there quite comfortably. Now that is the bit that you're going to be stapling in. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit of glue down the bottom there just to keep the paper in position so that it doesn't slip. So I'm putting my paper in there, closing that up, lining it up and just putting a staple in there. And then from here I'm going to fold my paper over and we just put that crease in there like that. Then I'm opening it back out and I'm just taking off one little section here, just using the line there as my guide, just cutting out that rectangle there. That's it. And then you just pull this down and pull this up, and then you can see where your fold's got to go. You just want it to fit in, tuck into the fold down bit there. So we just pull that down. Make sure that it's going to slot in there nicely. Put your fold in when you're happy, and then that's going to work out. Just check that you've got your paper sitting in there neatly and that it fits in there perfectly, touching the top of that or just clearing it so that it doesn't get bunched up when you want to close it. And when you're happy that you've got your paper folded in there, you just come back on yourself enough for it to slot in. So you just, let's show you this way. So you're coming down with your fold a little bit longer, bring it down a little bit more. So don't line it up with that. You want it to be able to tuck in under there. So it's got to tuck in under there. So once that's happened, then you can just flatten it down. And that's how you do that. And then what you end up with is this really interesting fold. So you've got little pockets that sort of create themselves here. And if you add a stamp on there as a little gift, you could just give one stamp and a nice paper clip. You could put a little paper clip and just a stamp and that be done. And alternatively, you could stick another fussy cut or a little picture or a little something behind. And you've created a really sweet little flip out giveaway. So what happens now is you can pull that out and up, and then it opens out. There's your writing space and a little bit of ephemera to play with. And so that can be added to the top of the letter. Oh, I think I will. That's really nice, isn't it? Can't go wrong with a bird and a butterfly, can you really? So we'll just roll that around onto the glue. I think it was a gummed stamp which I could have stuck down if I'd moistened it with a bit of water or something, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to stick it down more permanently with the glue like that. And just make sure that's there. And then there you have your little writing space and a fun stamp. So that's nice to journal on. That goes back over, and then there's an extra spare one to play with. And it all tucks in. You don't even need the paper clip if you didn't want to do that. You could just tuck that in as a little fun find, because it doesn't need it because it'll sit in there quite happily. Actually, probably get an even longer one in there. Could do to have a longer one, or I think I like the butterfly, or I've got one here with a nice butterfly on it and a plant, and that would look nice as well. Or let's go crazy and have two, and it's just a really fun, sweet little idea. There we go, that's it. And that's all it is, but it's really fun to play. You can do a whole load in an afternoon. The designs are so lovely, so you could have a play around with different colour threads to match in or to contrast. I've gone with pink, just thought that would be a bit different. Pink might look really nice with the blue, or I might want to choose blue or green, but you don't have to do the sewing, it's an extra step. You might like the idea of covering this as an extra writing space, or putting another image there. You could even use another one of these and cut it out and have it inside as well, so that when it flips up you've got the pretty. Actually, that's nice. And then yeah, we might like to add that in there. and hide the sewing. I think I like that idea. I'm just going to, yeah, I'm going to go with that. Let's go with that idea. So for that to fit in, and if you've got the digital kit, you just print out another sheet, don't you? That's all fine. You can have as many as you like, because you will have got the digital kit to play with forevermore. I think these are so lovely, the little Polaroids. She does birds as well, but I went for the botanicals because you know I love the botanicals. Well, I'm just going to add that down. I've just put a little slick of glue there. I'm using an art glitter glue here. I'm only using that because of the video. You can use any glue that you've got. It's just because it's nice and quick for me to just get on with the video. Just going to clip that thread out of it. There we go. Let's see if we've got a sentiment that will fit in there. I kind of like this one. This one says, focus on what's important. I think that's fun because these are Polaroid pictures, so we'll just use that as a play on words. Focus as in the camera focus, and add a little aged effect onto this as well. This is an extra step again, but it does look fun. If it crinkles, that's great. I'm just adding a little extra glue to this sentiment so that it doesn't ping off. And I'm going to add it right on the bottom edge there. That's it, and then just do that. And I could also just put a little ink along my vintage paper as well, but it's already sort of got that feel about it anyway. But nothing to stop me emphasising it. Add that in. And quite fun just to add a little bit of aged ink effect along some of the crease lines here as well, just to make you feel like you've got something really old, which you have because this paper was old. And there we go. And so that's another look and how to do it. But that could have been writing space as well. So you could have added another piece of plain just to cover up the stitching, and there it is. So it all now slots in. And don't they just look great? So these are just so much fun. You could even make them so that you could add a gift card or something in there for a friend if you didn't quite know what to get them. That's a good idea, isn't it? So that's lovely. So those are really, really pretty. I think that they are so special, so sweet. And I have really enjoyed making those, so I'm now going to print out some more. So I'm going to go off camera now. I'm going to cut out the extra ones here because I can now make 3 more using those, and I'll find and I'll make one in a different way with that. So I won't have a picture inside, I'll have a writing space, or I'll leave it blank. And there we go. Aren't they just so lovely? I was really inspired to use this Polaroid kit with the flowers. I thought that was really, really sweet. There's lots that you could do to make the matchbooks have something else in there. They could have pressed flowers, and they all tie in with the botanical theme that's going on in this one. This one is flower Polaroids, but she does do birds as well, and they're just as beautiful, so I like both of them. And if you'd like another idea on how to use these Polaroid kits other than just putting that in a journal and it looking amazing, have a look at the link below for Sue from Paper Inspiration, where she makes some really fun pockets to add fussy cuts and other elements that you can either gift to people or put in your journals. Just another really brilliant idea and a really fun afternoon make there. I just have really enjoyed that. That's just been nice and relaxing. I feel really accomplished. I feel like I've come away with something really tangible, really, really brilliant. I can add that to my journal as a really fun idea, and I'm going to go on and make more now because it's quite addictive. They look so pretty. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and if you thought that was good, give me a thumbs up and let me know how you get on. You know, you don't have to have the kit. You could use, if you have vintage book, you could cut out a picture from one of the pages that you may have. That's another way of achieving this. But, you know, but sometimes these books are hard to find, or are expensive, or they've got an iffy smell about them because they are old, in which case the kit is inexpensive and it's all there and there's plenty of it, and you can keep printing them out as many as you need and have a really lovely time with that. It's a great idea. Okay guys, so thanks very much for joining me, and above everything else, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.